Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not trying to come across as negative Nancy. I'm really not. Okay, I watched this. I watched this episode and I skimmed through it twice because I was like, I gotta find something good in this episode. Like something has to be good in this episode. And it was like damn near little to none. Which I mean, you talk about the Dante and Sam scene, and all they really do is once again talk about moving in. Um, he gets to the bottom of why they never actually meet up at his place because of Lula, and then they just table the whole moving in together to like another day or whatever. So it's like, I mean, even if you were rooting for them and you're just sitting there thinking like, okay, this is the day they're gonna really sit there and settle this. No, no, all they did was sit there and talk about Lulu, and then they decided to just table it for another day. So it just kind of felt like a giant waste. Giant waste. That's literally what it felt like. Um, I don't know what the hell was going on with Sunny and Nina at this point. I mean, they got together, and Nina seemed like she was kind of gun shy. She wasn't really too sure. And, she kept sitting there talking about, oh, well, the last time we talked, you kept saying that Carly, it's going to be three of us in this relationship. Carly's always going to be a part of our lives. And I'm like, have you not been paying attention? You do realize that he has children with her, right? Along with children with, two other women, but he has children with her. Why is this a surprise now? I don't understand this. And she kept saying, it's not like, we're back in Nixon Falls, we're in our bubble and everything like that. And Sonny is just like, listen, I think you're worth it. The question is, do you think that I'm worth it? And then they just sit there and go back and forth for like a good couple of minutes. Then that demon came in. That demon known as Smoltz came in and started asking questions about Sasha. And of course, Sonny wanted to whoop his ass. And if it wasn't for Nina constantly holding him back, that's literally what would wound up happening. So Nina, was more or less just like kick rocks or whatever. And after he said what he said, he ran out the bar like a little schoolgirl. Okay? Because that's literally what demons are. And by the way, for the uninitiated, I call Smoltz a demon because the dude has no soul, he has no sympathy, no empathy. It's just a hollow shell of just greed and anything that he needs to do to get to the top. And he doesn't care who he hurts to get to that point. So yeah, he ran out like a little schoolgirl, and then Nina decided to give them both a chance, and Sonny does his, all up in your face, close mouth, close, like right there kissing, and then that was pretty much about it. So, it's as great as I made it sound. I don't really understand the points of these, company counseling or consulting counseling or whatever the hell it is that she's doing, but they're just a giant waste of time. That's literally all they are. It's just a giant waste of time. And I get it. It's Cameron Madison's real life wife. Okay, that's cool. You'll see him when you get home. Like why are we doing this for? Okay, why are we doing this for? Because the sad thing is she doesn't even really have like what if she does? She was talking to Drew. Valentine came over. He acted like a dick. And then Carly was like, they got a table for you, all the way in the back. I'm like, Carly, you don't even. It's like I get you listening that you're trying to shoo him away, but I was like, bro, you do realize that you own none of this, right? Like she was there to sit there and meet Mia. Like, and I'm honestly tell you, I'm surprised that Valentine didn't sit there and gloat any more than what he did. He did sit there and say something about, this is really Nina's hotel, this is Nina stuff. But, when she practically told him to kick rocks, all you had to do was sit there and say no. What are you going to do? You know, on any of this. Like he really could have went in on Nina. I mean on Carly, but he had to sit there and try to do something with his uncle because his uncle. I'm gonna be completely honest. I find this to be just stupid of Valentine. I mean, this story is just dumb. So his dad is somewhat holding Charlotte hostage in a boarding school. I mean, she's not really hostage, but he can't see her. So it's not like she's in some sort of, I don't know, dungeon or room or something like that. She's just in boarding school, thriving and having a good time. I don't really like. I don't get the sense of urgency and a sense of danger. I don't get it. I know a lot of people are sitting there saying, well, you know, Castellans aren't really good with their, you know, with their children or whatever, and he could sit there and wind up hurting her or whatever. I'm just like, I don't, no. I'm not invested. I felt like I wasn't damn near invested in half of the stuff that was going. I felt like yesterday, even though I complained a little bit about yesterday's episode, I felt like that was probably a better episode. Carly and Drew talked. They, I guess, flirted and did eye sex or whatever. I don't know. It really didn't go anywhere. In that scene, it is exactly like it sounds. I don't know what this dude sees in her. I don't know what this dude Cody sees in her. Every time he asks her a question and he talks to her, all she does is give him resting bitch face. And I'm just like, bro, like why I mean, I know, you know, the writers like forcing those two to be together, but it just seems so painful and so I don't want to sit there and say unrealistic. Okay? Because I've seen men that will sit there and be all up in a woman's face or whatever, even though she's like, yo, listen, kick rocks. Like, I don't even really want to be with you. And that's literally the vibe that she kept giving him the entire time. And then when Obrick came in, um, you know, she was like, oh, she told Cody to go, you know, go somewhere, go for a walk, go get her a drink. Or he just had that look on his face. So Obrick's like, yo, listen, you need to sit there and have fun. You know, at the end of the day, you need to sit there and have some fun, have a good time. Like, you can't just be whatever it is that you've been doing, you can't be doing that anymore. Like, life is way too short, pretty much. Now, at some point, Obrick was meeting up with Scotty. Scotty came in and, you know, he shook Cody's hand. He was like, oh, yeah, you know, I'm the guy that's always on the, you know, the buses or whatever. And he shakes his hand and he gets the car. He was like, you know, that's something I've been waiting to do for a really long time. And he punches him in the face. And I'm like, because I was to tell you, up until this point, I was actually pretty bored. So that definitely woke me up because I was like, wait, whoa, what? Wait, what happened? Did I miss something? Let me rewind that. Like, what happened? So I am very interested to sit there and find out more about that. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did this twice because I didn't like how the first one came out. I talked about Dante and Sam, and if I'm talking about them again, I apologize. But all they really did was sit down. They talked about Spinelli for a little bit. You know, Sam wasn't really buying the whole, you know, Spinelli wants to be with Britt or whatever. Which, in a little bit, is kind of odd when you think about it. She's like, oh, well, I don't buy that. And I'm like, why? Because they're total opposites? Because in reality, Maxie was the exact opposite of Spinelli. And yet, they got together. So I don't understand why, you know what I'm saying? Like, why they just can't believe that. Even Max is like, oh, no, I don't believe it. I was like, you married him, you had a child with him, and you two are as polar opposite as it gets. So I don't really understand that. Anyway, they talked about that and moving in, and to be honest, it didn't really go anywhere. That's literally what, because they talked about Lulu and the reason why she's not, well, she doesn't really go over Dante's place or whatever, and that was pretty much a lot of it. So, yeah. And again, if I talked about it again, I'm sorry. Just I did this again because I didn't like how the first one came out. You know, it was another waste of time of a scene. Anna and Felicia. The thing is, Anna and Felicia are what I consider legendary characters. Okay, legendary characters. They've been on this show. I would almost sit there and say as long as before I was even born, maybe. I don't understand how they get these two characters to have a scene that's so mundane. That's all they're doing is talking about Mac and a bunch of random girls looking at him and how she needs to stay fit. And I'm like, I think you should probably just stay fit in general, but whatever. Anna talking about how just she doesn't really trust Valentine, but she's like, well, certain secrets I've held back, so I can sit there and mind a couple of secrets between us, and then towards the end, she was ready to sit there and do it. She's like, well, tell me what to do. Tell me what you think. I'm just like, well, you've been on this planet for a long time. Why are you asking somebody this? I get it. I get it. But in the end, all she really decided was, yeah, I can't let it go. Because she felt like the story about the clinic, the second clinic or whatever, just didn't really add up. It didn't add up. So she's like, yeah, I want to sit there and find out what's going on. Now, the whole time, Victor is sitting there telling Valentine, like, yo, Laura's not dead the way I asked her to be. And, Valentine's like, well, she's away and, she's tending to family and stuff like that. And, Victor's like, all right, I guess that'll do for now. But what about Anna? You got to do something about her because I don't like this woman getting up in my business like that. Like, what do you got going on? And, Valentine's like, no, I can sit there and handle it. Okay. Again, just another scene that doesn't go anywhere. I guess for me, again, that's if they weren't related, then I can understand some sort of dangerous element. But I don't believe that Victor's going to do anything to Charlie. I don't believe it. I guess that's why I'm just not so invested in that part of this. I mean, that part of the story in general. I almost forgot something too, and that was the whole Nicholas and Ava scene. All Ava was not there doing was not there talking to Scotty about getting divorced, because Nicholas got there. And, you was not there they were talking about the divorce papers and everything like that. So she was like, yo, you got a pen? And she told Nicholas to sign it. And Nicholas was like, I'm not doing that. So Nicholas was like, yo, listen, could you sit there and give us a minute? Scotty walks off to go do something. And Nicholas had to once again get it through her head, hey, listen, you may not like me right now, but as of this moment, you need my help. Because if Ish goes down and it goes sideways, I can't testify against you. You need me to sit there and help you cover this stuff up and then kind of get past this hurdle. And Ava decides to do it, and she's like, well, I'm doing this because of self-preservation. I don't blame her because, I mean, the dude literally cheated on her with somebody of her son's age. And yeah, I get it. Ava's done the same thing. So in reality, she really doesn't have room to criticize as far as the rock and the cradle part. But she's like, yeah, you know what? Listen, we'll stay together. I mean, we'll stay married together, but we ain't knocking boots. So let's get that out your head right now. We ain't staying in the same house, same bed, none of that. Guess who's gonna be sitting there flipping the bill on that hotel bill? It's damn sure not gonna be her. I think that's pretty much about it. But I might have missed something because, like I said, I did it twice. So if I did, I apologize. And also, if I talked about the Sam and Dante part again, I apologize for that as well because I don't want doing it again. I don't know about sometimes these episodes seem like they're just lacking something. And granted, like yesterday, the reveal of Spinelli and what he's been really up to, that was interesting. Okay? But I remember that being the only thing that was interesting. I remember that being the only thing, more or less, that was interesting. And you look at an episode like today, and I'm like it lacks something. And, one can almost ask the question, well, I don't want to sit there and say, was the show ever good? Because this show was good. I remember the days, it was really good. Hell, I remember the days when I used to sit there and do reviews. Cyrus is there, he was tearing it up, and not to sit there and say I didn't have a ball doing these reviews then, doing these reviews now, but I felt so much more excited talking about some of this stuff, you know? And I, I mean, not that they're saying it's not fun to do these episodes. I feel like in a lot of ways it was more fun to talk about some of this stuff than it is to watch some of the episodes. And I miss those days. I do. I really do. And it's not to sit there and say it was a bad episode. It was just kind of, I don't want to sit there and say boring, but a lot of stuff just didn't really work. And I don't know what they're doing. Why it's just I don't understand how these episodes just get finished. And then people gotta look at it and be like, yep, this works. Was it exciting? No, it works. I don't get that. I miss those days when some of these episodes used to be really exciting and it didn't feel like a giant filler. Even the conversations with Sonny and Nina just seemed like, and if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that Sonny's my guy. And then after a while, it was just like, Nina, what are you doing? Do you want to be with Sonny or not? Like, okay, cool. You want to be with Sonny? Cool. I'm so annoyed that it took that long, but sure, whatever. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know your thoughts on the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.